The value of any idea lies in how to put it into use. Good morning to one and all. Thank you for joining us on this auspicious event. On behalf of the Department of Information Technology, Dr. MGR Educational and Research Institute, I would like to bid you a warm welcome to our Symposium Sparkle'21. I am delighted that many participants from different colleges of our country have accepted our Sparkle'21 invitation and registered to participate in various events. I request you all to rise on your feet for the prayer song followed by the invocation to our mother Tamil.
நீராடும் கடலுடுத்த நிலமடந்த செழிகொழுகும் சீராடும் பதனமென திகழ்படர கண்டமெனில் தெக்கணவும் அது சிறந்த திராவிடர்கள் திருநாடும் கத்த சிறு திரை முதலும் தரித்தனரும் திலகமுமே அத்திலக வாசனை போல் அதற்குலகும் இன்பமுற எத்திசையும் புகழ் மணக்க இருந்த பெரும் தமிழனங்கே தமிழனங்கே உன் சீரிழமை திறம்பியந்த செயல்களம் வாழ்த்ததுமே வாழ்த்ததுமே வாழ்த்ததுமே.
To start off today's event, I call upon our HOD Dr. Kanya ma'am to give a welcome address.
Thank you, Razul. It's my pleasure to welcome you all. Good morning, everyone. Coming together is a beginning, staying together is a progress, and working together is a success. That is what our Symposium Sparkle is. It's another day, another change to Sparkle. It's my pleasure to welcome you all on behalf of the university and on behalf of our department to the virtual national level technical symposium Sparkle 21 on the theme New Normalcy. Our institution is a 30-year-old institution. Now it is flourished with 15 faculty and various departments to cater the education in various arena in trending and emerging fields. Under the great leadership of our founder chancellor, Dr. A.C. Shanmugam sir, and our president, engineer A.C.S. Arun Kumar sir, uh, our university holds a special graded autonomous status by UGC and also an ISO certified institution accredited with NAC A grade, National Board of Accreditation NBA, ABET, Accreditation Board of Engineering Technology, and NABH. We thank the founder chancellor, president, for giving us an opportunity to organize this kind of event and also for inspiring us to host it successfully. I'm happy to welcome our dynamic Vice Chancellor, ma'am, Dr. Geeta Lakshmi, ma'am, who always motivates and encourages to reach the next level. I'm happy to welcome our Joint Registrar, Dr. V. Siriraj, sir, who always been the backbone of our department and also guiding us in the right path to success. I'm happy to welcome today's speaker, Mr. Sri Shankara Swaminathan JV. He's a software development manager at Amazon in the India Development Center. I'm happy to welcome you, sir. He's going to inaugurate our symposium and deliver the inaugural address. Sparkle is a national level technical symposium for the student and by the student with the guidance of faculty coordinators. For the past 15 days, the student coordinators and faculty coordinators put the maximum effort to make this event grand success. For this event, we received a overwhelming response from all over the country. The event has technical as well as non-technical events. It's scheduled throughout the day in various parallel G-Meet sessions. We are having judges inside the campus and also outside the campus. We like to appreciate and congratulate all the participants who have taken a step forward to attend this program. I would like to thank the staff coordinator of this event, Mrs. C. Tamilchelvi and Mrs. Shobna, for their effort to make this event a grand success. I take this opportunity to thank the staff members, students of the Department of IT for being a pillar of support. Thank you, one and all, for your continuous support and effort to make the event a grand success.
Thank you, ma'am, for encouraging us to organize such events and showcase our talents. When you catch a glimpse of your potential, that's when passion is born. I would like to present a video on glimpse of our symposium. Thank you for watching. Now I would like Thank you for watching. Now I would like to call my friend Junaid, who is president of our department association, EITSA, to give an overview of the symposium.
Thank you, Rasul. Learning gives creativity, creativity leads to thinking. Thinking provides knowledge, and knowledge makes you a perfect man. Good morning to everyone. Today, I thank you for being a part of our symposium, Sparkle'21. I am Junaid, president of our department association, ESA. I am honored to give a brief introduction about the symposium. Department of Information Technology was initially merged with the Computer Science and Engineering Department and has been conducting a symposium under the name TechStar from the past 11 years. From January 2020, we have been a functional as a full-fledged separate department. We started our own association called Association of Information Technology, also known as shortly as ASTA. This year, we came up with idea of conducting our symposium. While brainstorming for a perfect name for symposium, majority of our students coordinate came up with the name Sparkle. After giving Sparkle, faculty members were decided to conduct Sparkle 21. In this symposium, we have 3 technical events and 4 non-technical events. This will be conducted as parallel session after the inauguration. Each event has coordinated by 2 staff, coordinated by 1 staff backup. Under the technical events, we have Webify coordinated by Ms. Tamil Selvi and student coordinator Divyasri and Tarnik. Knowledge check coordinated by Dr. T. Malai and student coordinator Junaid and Kavya. Present at Tone, coordinated by Dalia Sam and student coordinator Zayed Rasul Khan and Rajan Kumar. Under non-technical events, we have Play Card, coordinated by Miss Shobna and Miss Tejasvi, by student coordinator Subendran and Rajan Kumar. Meme World coordinated by Mr. A. Kameshwar and student coordinated by Bharat Kishan and Nasreen Banu. Film Plate coordinated by Rasika and student coordinated by Kanishka and Pavitra. Creative Symposium coordinated by Miss K. Nitya and student coordinated Deepa Lakshmi and Mukesh. For all the events, we receive registration from different colleges around the country. With the blessing of our founder Challenger Sir, President Sir, Vice Challenger Madam, Joint Register Sir, and support of our faculty members, we are excited to be the part of Sparkle 21. As the name suggests, we are the budding engineers. We'll together sparkle using our creative talents and skills. Thank you once again.
Yeah, thank you, Junaid, for giving an overview of the symposium. We feel honored to have our Vice Chancellor Dr. S. Geeta Lakshmi ma'am with us today. I now request Madam to give the felicitation address.
Thank you for inviting me for this Sparkle program for the students and by the students. Really, it's great that one of the events are done by the students themselves, and I request each department also to conduct such kind of programs because the students have more talents. Because we have to see them how talentful and how creative they are, and of course, on behalf of the management, we should thank our president and our chancellor, Mr. A.C. Shanmugam, and President A.C.S. Arun Kumar for giving all of you the opportunity to learn and continue the path of knowledge and create a very useful society in future by giving education. And I should also encourage, so I come all the way, I come for all these programs for the reason is like I want you all to flourish. And in spite of my work, and usually on Saturdays, I am a speaker in many of the forums in the medical field. I see to that I jump to your program and encourage you all for your the development of the department. And I should appreciate Kanya, her team, Shobana, Tamachelvi, Dalia, Sam, and others who are just behind them, and also definitely our young budding students who would be the future engineers and future entrepreneurs, future businessmen, and whatnot. So I should also encourage my students to come up in their life and flourish for everlasting. So giving the name for the institution, and as you know, like sparkle, sparkling, making the students sparkle, or whatever it meant, and it is the named by the students. Really, it's wonderful, and I see many of the creative headings given to them on both the technical and non-technical platforms, and this would make the students to go into depth because they do the work hands-on experience, and this would give them a lot of encouragement in future because it is the encouragement given to the students would bring them, pull them up to go up the ladder in their life. So I want all of you to encourage the students for whatever they have come out with, and also encourage other students to also come up with various ideas in the near future for Sparkle. Thank you, one and all.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Now I would like to request our dynamic joint registrar Dr. V. Cyril Raj sir to share a few words.
Uh, Good morning to all the participants. First of all, I would like to thank our founder chancellor as well as our beloved president sir for providing such a wonderful platform for all of us to develop in our career. I have to thank our uh, dynamic vice chancellor madam for constantly supporting all our activities. Um, Without her initiative, when she tried to join in all the programs of our university, he personally motivate all the participants. Thank you very much for your participation, motivation talk, madam. Dear participants of Sparkle, I think now we are in a very critical stage about we are going across through this pandemic situation. Now, totally, there are a lot of paradigm shift in the way that actually we learn and then the way that we work. I mean, the entire world has invented a new way of working remotely. That too, anyway, it is happening very efficiently also. But there are one or two setbacks also. So, with a lot of developments in the technology, that too, with new developments which are happening there in IT. So, definitely, the world has, shrunk as a small location also, into the small location also. As we were working together nuclear, so the same environment is right now there, even in work from home also. So the same efficiency, all these things. But right now, this pandemic nuclear has deprived students as far as their practical learning is concerned, and then a proctored mentoring from the faculty members also. So though there are a empty number of materials available in the web, as well as there are virtual laboratories available across, but there are situations unless the students practically and unless the students practically uh, uh, do experiments and then learn by themselves nuclear, so it cannot be properly learned also. So now, in this regard, what I want to stress, tell you, dear students, nuclear, try to follow any one of the corporates of current technological trend, where, say for example, today we have the chief guest with us, clear. Mr. Swami is there with us, clear. Now, actually, he is working, as a developer there, chief developer there in Amazon Web Services. Yeah. So, yes, there are good opportunities available there in AWS. But the thing is, we need proper certifications to demonstrate our knowledge. Because right now, the companies are not believing in the way that evaluations are happening, because right from the government onwards, and then all educational institutions, they have started a mental, and they have come across with an arrangement to not to strictly go with the evaluation procedure, because actually everywhere the problem is. So obviously, in this difficult situation, in order to get a better opportunity in nuclear, so we need to get an international certifications, like AWS, different levels are there. So like that, now the many organizations are having their own certification systems to demonstrate the knowledge component of that particular learner also, clear. But along with that, no, clear, the next thing is we have to have a 360-degree view of what is happening across, so that, no, clear, with the knowledge of this basic technology, if you try to identify a right application, okay, so these are the ways, no, clear, you can start developing, uh, having your own experience on that particular. So right now, there are no internship available also. Mostly the internships are also virtual. Definitely, clear, we need such a practices also. I think, dear students, our university motto is, our students ought to be job creators, not job seekers. Right now, the industry needs millions of talented, skilled developers, here, with many categories also. So to make use of these opportunities, so try to improve your skill sets in any one of the important domains, like either it could be on the database, or it could be on the cloud, or it could be on the network side, or it could be on media related, whatever it is, nuclear. But you need to have one, well-known certifications with you. So definitely you will be preferred than the rest of your competitors. So I hope this Sparkle 21 will ignite all your minds into a valuable, skilled, knowledgeable nuclear resources for your better future. Thanks a lot for providing such a wonderful opportunity.
Thank you, sir, for giving a valuable speech. That was a good start now. Now it's time to hear from our chief guest of the day, Sri Shankara Swaminathan JV, sir. Before we hear from him, I would like to give a brief introduction about this great man. Shallow men believe in luck, whereas wise and strong men in the cause and effect. Sri Shankara Swaminathan JV sir completed his graduation from NIT Tirchi. Sir has 13 years of experience in the IT industry and started his career as an application engineer in Oracle. He worked in premium companies like Experto Group, Oracle, and Amazon as a senior developer, tech lead, tech architecture, and software development manager. Sar is certified as a Scrum Master, Scaled Agile. Sar is currently is working on building next generation payment processing service project in Amazon. We are privileged to hear from you, sir. Over to you.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Hey, first of all, I would like to extend my thanks to Honorable Founder and Chancellor, Mr. A.C. Shanmugam, sir. Thanks to the President, Engineer ACS Arun Kumar, sir. Thanks to the Vice Chancellor, Dr. Geeta Lakshmi, ma'am. Thanks to the HOD of IT Department, Dr. Kanya, ma'am. Thanks to our Registrar, Dr. C.B. Pannelivelu, sir. Thanks to Joint Registrar Dr. V. Cyril Raj, sir. Thanks to Assistant Professor C. Tamil Selvi, ma'am. And thanks to you, Rasul and Junaid, for the good introduction. Thanks to the entire management team, respected teachers, faculty members, and all the students there across colleges here. It's definitely an honor to be here. Uh, it's a great introduction, right? Like I wanted to introduce myself, but thanks for that nice introduction. Like I'm Sri Shankara Swaminathan. I work at Amazon Chennai as a software development manager, uh, and I primarily focus on payment processing for 8 countries in Middle East, North Africa region. For Amazon, just like how we have like Amazon Pay or something in India. This is for the payment processing in those countries. And I work based out of Chennai, uh, and I manage a team of around 12 solid engineers, etc. Uh, Prior to this team, I was with Last Mile Tech, the delivery for Amazon across geographical locations. Amazon retail, right? Like when you order, the item comes to you. So the technology behind the delivery was one of the things I was leading at Amazon. And then before that, I was building Oracle integration platform cloud service. So that's my primary introduction, right? And then I did my engineering from NIT Trichy in production engineering department, like REC Trichy, NIT Trichy. So thanks to my faculties back there, and then the encouragement from my parents and peers, like despite production engineering, I could kickstart my career with a large organization like Oracle. And I would say like, hey, through the years, right? Like it's been like 13 years at least since I completed my college. The demand in the IT software field has been like constantly increasing, and then the supply that comes from computer science and IT has never been sufficient for the top quality people, right? Like it's probably the only field where we absorb most of the students from the same department and from other departments also. Have you ever heard like a computer science engineer joining a mechanical organization? Like, do they even conduct an interview or something? Never happens, right? So that way, it's a very inclusive or diverse technology field, right? And we are all lucky to be part of it, right? I was part of production engineering. Mechanical was a great field, right? I had my personal interest there. But when I came to choosing a choice or choosing my career ahead, I chose in software and IT field. That's my background. And I was probably like most of my time I was with Trichy, like born and brought up there. And, for this, I will just cover like three major topics, right? Like I'll talk about like, hey, what is the life at COVID in IT companies, and what are the current trends there, etc. And what is my suggestions or recommendations for a lot of you who are preparing for a campus placement, uh, or your career at an organization. Some of you may will go for higher studies. I'm really happy for you. And then I'm also looking forward to a lot of entrepreneurs coming out of it. And some of you may join as an employee and then can become an employer in the future, right? Like you join an organization, you take up a leadership position, or and then you hire other people. So my best wishes there. I'm pretty sure this group has like a lot of future CEOs, future CTOs, and everybody is around there. And I'm glad that I'm speaking to you. So, and then I would always just keep like probably 5 minutes at the end, so that like if you have any questions, right, like you can send it out in the chat, and then the host can probably read them through so that we can take it if there are some questions. Cool. So life at COVID has impacted multiple industries, and it changed the way we do things, right? Like it's never probably be the same. Even if things go back to normal, people already started thinking like, hey, would we be willing to come back to office now that we are used to work from home for like 2 years? A lot of people are saying like, hey, can we continue working from home, right? That's the kind of thing here. And then looking back, right, like the ability to work from anywhere has been the strength of software or IT field for a long time. Uh, if I look back and then why I made this decision, I would say like, hey, if I were at any other most of the other industries, I need to necessarily be there, right? Like if I'm part of a manufacturing unit, I have to be there in the manufacturing unit to manufacture it, right? Like need not be executives, but the ground level employees should be there, right? If you take an software field, right, like any level of employees, not just the executives or managers, right? Engineers, freshers, uh, through the last 2 years, right? Like I myself onboarded multiple remote working interns, multiple remote working college freshers, um, joining as engineers, software development engineers, support engineers, etc. From different levels of college, and then it was business as usual, right? Like it's not like anything paused or stopped. As a matter of fact, like many organizations, software organizations, including Amazon, have their stock value doubled over this period. Right? Like Oracle doubled from like 40 to 80 kind of, and then Amazon. When I joined like a couple of years back, the stock value was around like 1,600. Now it's trending around 3,500, which is like not only that it is not impacted, it's really going in a rapid pace. So that's the advantage anybody in computer science or IT has at this stage over somebody in other fields, right? Like they have a big challenge there, right? We all need to be very supportive of them, and then feel lucky that hey, the choice that you made at some point of your life is being like very useful now. And as the trend changes, like IT, the trend always changes, right? Like when I completed, Java was the most important thing, right? And then it continues to be, but along with Java, a lot of new things are coming up, particularly on like on one side of it, the science-based side of it. There is machine learning, artificial intelligence, image processing, voice processing, natural language processing. These are all like very key trending technologies, and that going to stay for the next at least 10 years, right? Like if there are some new engineers, right, like say like, hey, I want to learn something, I don't know what to learn, right? I want to learn something from scratch. I would say like, hey, pick one of these, right? Like go in the direction of, hey, see how do you build an ML model, right? How do you do natural language processing? How do you convert an image to a text, or how do you do a voice processing? These are all things that that will be there in the future. and lot of robotics would come, and then the machine learning, the way our language is processed by the programs or machines would be like key in the future. And then as a software engineer, if you are looking at that, may be a strong session, I would say. And from a core perspective, right, particularly given that I am from Amazon, cloud is a great trend in the market right now, right? And then it will continue to be there. Like the traditional legacy systems where we store the infrastructure in-house uh, will definitely reduce in the future. That's my gut feeling, right? And I speak knowing what are the pain points that we have had in the future. When I started my career, there is no concept of cloud, right? Up until like last 8 years, the cloud was not popular. Like, and I started cloud like 8 years back, and very serious only in the last 5 years. Really serious in the last 2 years when I was at Amazon. And I realized that organization would tend to go away from it. We don't want to deal with things like people from my age group, they know like what it was like, going to a website and then the website being down. That hardly happens now, right? Like if it happens, it becomes a news. Hey, the website is down. That's a news. So it used to be the case like, hey, the website always used to be down in the previous decade. Uh, that's something I would really say. And then on the cloud, like serverless architecture is becoming the hot trend now. If you take like AWS, this Lambda, ECS, Fargate, those kind of things are like step functions for workflows. Those are all like pretty hard tech stack that happens. No SQL DBs, the MODBs, etc. And I would recommend like similar thing may exist in other cloud. Like similar thing may exist in Oracle Cloud. Similar thing may exist in Microsoft Cloud, Azure. Azure is a very popular cloud service. Our competitors, Oracle Cloud is a very popular thing. Like it's a competitor now for me. Earlier, I was building it myself. So these are all like really popular thing. And then Google has Google Cloud also picking up. And choose one, right? Choose one, and then ensure like you do hands-on development. Right? Don't just read about it. Try to do some weekend projects. Try to do some projects that engage you. And when you pick your final year projects, third year projects, see if you can pick in some of these streams. Because whatever you do, right, like just choose your infrastructure to be on cloud rather than on your own laptop or desktop. That's all I'm saying. And then the benefit is different because the benefit comes when it has to scale. And then for your project, the scaling may not be a requirement, but the learning would be very key when you talk to a corporate organization in the future. That's a key thing I have, right? Like because uh, I can tell you some examples. Uh, in the past, if a server goes down, right? I'm a user, my server goes down. I worked at an organization called Exeter. The server was in Boston. We were based out of Bangalore, and the server goes down. I have to literally call somebody in Boston. They have to go and switch on the server, see if something is really wrong there, etc. There are cases where we come back and then say like the wire got unplugged, right? That's and the time difference, right? Like let's say we start our day at 10 a.m. We see that the server is down. We are blocked till evening, right? And it happens and the night. That means like one day is completely lost for all the people in the team. They may do something else to keep them engaged, but the day is lost. In the cloud world, there is 99.99% assured guarantee that it will not go down, which means if the server runs for approximately 10,000 hours, there is a probability that may go down for 1 hour, and then that 1 hour would be established maintenance time where we know the server is going to be down. This is the power of cloud. Right? 10,000 hours is a lot of time, and then 99.99% is what available today. And people talk about 99.999, 99.9999. Like personally, for my team, we have 6 nines as a goal, right? Like 99.9999% time uptime, which means If it runs for like how do I say it, a million hours, 1 hour can be a downtime. So that's the, or if it runs for a million days, 1 day the server can go. That's the kind of goal all organizations are going towards, right? That makes a thing. Then we have to go to cloud. That's only the availability part of it. Right? Then the scaling, right? Scaling is like when there is a demand high, particularly those from my time, they know like, hey, tatkal, 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. is the tatkal time for booking tickets. The server goes down, like it will be too slow, we can't book it, etc. And then when Flipkart 2010 first launched their big billion day, right? I think 2010 is the time, I believe. When they launched their big billion day, uh, the site crashed. So it's kind of a how do we put it, like anti-climax, right? Like they wanted to have $1 billion sale in 1 day. That's a target. Lot of traffic came in, but the site crashed, right? That's like a disaster, right? Like, and then if somebody tells you that, hey, if the scale increases, if the number of people hitting the server increases, your system would auto scale. We tell you that, hey, you don't worry about it. Like you tell what, and then we'll make sure we put a load balancer, and if the load is more, the system would have like, it will increase on its number of hosts and the RAM, horizontal and vertical scaling, and we will take all the traffic. So that's like really awesome, right? Imagine that. Now it hardly happens, right? Like how many times you go and then see like every month Flipkart is having a big billion sale. Every month Amazon is having an Indian big sale. Like all those thing happens every month, right? Like, and I talk to my peers across geographical location. They have this big sale like once a year. Right? I was talking to an European, right? Like say like, how is it possible that in India every month there is some festival, right? And then there is a peak sale happening, big discount sale happening in India, and how do you manage those things? In countries like Europe, it happens once a year, so they call it like a Prime Day, right? And India Prime Day happens, but it's not really that popular like Diwali or Pongal, right? Like in Europe, people purchase more during Prime Day, and then it may happen probably during Christmas, New Year time. India, like we have January Pongal, February something, March something. Every month there is some sale that happens where you get huge discounts. The traffic is super high, etc. And we could scale. In the olden days, plan for 1 day, right? Work 1 year for that 1 day. Now we can do it for every month. Uh, that's the power of scaling, right? And the moment you realize what it is, then people will start saying like, hey, I want to go to cloud, right? I want to make sure my systems are scalable. So it's a very tech topic, and I know that I'm talking to IT engineers and computer science engineers. And when you talk technology, I want you to talk about these things. Right? That's why I'm talking a tech topic there, rather than going a very business or a non-technological conversation. So that's one thing, right? And then the key, another thing I want to bring out was when you want to prepare for your interviews, right? Like you do it now, you may do it, you will go for a higher studies, hopefully. After your higher studies, you may do, or you'll become an entrepreneur, right? You'll become an employer, then you hire people. And this probably is my suggestion on what you look for. And I've been very intensely involved on hiring for like close to 8 years. uh, Exeter in 2012, I became an organizational uh, lead for hiring, and then at Oracle was very key contributor in hiring, and Amazon also I'm a key contributor in hiring. So my suggestion would be on hiring is like make sure you focus more on the thought process rather than the solution itself. Don't focus on like, hey, the answer itself, right? Like don't be too much about, hey, I need to get an answer if a question is asked. Focus on how do you take that question, what is the solution, what is your thought process towards it. If you get challenged, see how you can take that challenge. Most importantly, this, right? Like uh, it's not about how fast you run, it's about how fast you can turn direction if you realize you're going in the wrong direction? How fast can you get up if you have fallen down? How fast you can realize that you have to slow down if you see a speed breaker? These three things are far more important than just running fast, because if you're too good on running fast, right, all your competitors can do was put a speed breaker in your path, right? And if you cannot slow down, right, then you'll fall down, right? Like you'll hit and fall down. If you cannot change direction, they can change your destination, right? If you cannot change direction quickly, uh, you'll just run fast in the wrong direction. Like let's say I'm in somewhere, I need to run south, but if I run fast and running north, I would never reach my destination. So just focus on these things. Like in an interview, if you are answering a question wrong, make sure you know how you can course correct yourself. Look if the interviewer is giving you some tips, hints on what you need to focus on, where you are going wrong. They will do it, right? A good interviewer always give you a tip on what is going wrong with your solution if you are doing it wrong, right? And then look for those, and primarily realize that you are being judged and evaluated for how you are approaching the problem, and not just that answer. So it's the journey, not the destination. That's what they say always, right? It's always the journey, not the destination. So that's my take there. And I would save the remaining time for, like, if you have any questions, uh, I'll just go on mute, and I'll just go grab my charger as well for the laptop. Just give me a minute.
Yeah, thank you, sir.
Any questions? Is there any questions, Rasul?
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Shankar Swaminathan sir. It's really a wonderful session with you. Really a opener session for students to know about the industry and the passion, how they work towards. Thanks a lot for spending your time with us. It's a pleasure to having you here. Nazul?
Yeah, ma'am. There are few questions regarding the placements and something. Hello.
I can hear you, Rasul.
Yes, sir. In as a final year student, what projects can work more efficient to the product-based companies?
Sure. So there are always. I'll just answer it high level and then come to a direct answer, right? Uh, in general, right, at the initial phase of somebody's career, right, they go depth. Like they know certain technology, they know it very well, right? That's the starting phase you do. Right? When I started, hey, I know C, and I know C very well. But when I joined organization, I was not aware of Java, right? And then I learned Java and become a Java developer afterwards. So I would say, like, choose one technology. Like C is probably outdated now, so I won't say like, hey, learn C, but learn one depth. And as you grow in your career, go breadth, right? Instead of going depth, go breadth. So current trend is more on like Kotlin. If you want to talk about the languages, I would say like Kotlin, Python, Java are the top three market trends that I would recommend. And on like the other way around, like if you want to look for cloud services, I would say like SageMaker, or any other ML AI services. Look for like voice processing, image processing, IoT, uh, text, image to text conversion, etc. These are all something that would be like uh, super hot trends in the coming time. So I would recommend these things for the in the text, the kind of framework kind of thing. That's at a high level, I would say.
Yeah, okay, sir. Thank you.
Data structures algorithms goes by default, right? Like, be strong on your mathematics, be strong on your QA, right? Quantitative analytics and aptitude, and have a clear mind, good, open-minded in the interviews. Be sure like you're strong on data structures, algorithms, and these things.
Yeah, okay, sir. So I have one more question. What is the about security levels of the cloud storage, sir? As everyone is using the cloud storage devices, so what is the security levels of the cloud storage devices due to regarding the
So,
data privacy?
yeah, uh, so there are multiple things there. One is data privacy and data security are two different things. I'll tell you what, right? Data security is I have my data, right? And then somebody's data is also there.
Yes, sir.
Third party is there and they want to see my data, right? This is data security issue. Somebody is seeing my data. It's a data security issue. Data privacy is there is system 1 and system 2. If these two systems share the data between themselves, example, it can happen intentionally, right? Like I think if your Facebook and Instagram are from Facebook, they share data. Facebook and WhatsApp are from Facebook, right? They share data. So that's a data privacy where everybody giving a consent saying that I'm okay with my data shared, right? If you don't give that consent, then the data should not be shared. So if in AWS, we have multiple services, are you okay with your data shared between these services? Example, if you log in with retail, same data is used in Prime Video, right? So these are all when they share data and when we sign up, we take. But look at a case where you share your data to, let's say, Netflix, right? And then another live streaming system uses the same AWS infrastructure. If it can access your data, then it's a privacy issue. So these are the two different things, right? Privacy and security is the most important thing for Amazon. So customer trust has been the prime driving factor since like last 2 decades. So the data is fully secure and the privacy is fully maintained. And as a matter of fact, uh, privacy is given even more important because it can directly lead to a trust issue, right? The other one is a financial thing. So let's say somebody, both are important, right? Like I'm not saying one is not, other is, right? Uh, if there is a financial loss of 100 rupees, right, and then I can give you 100 rupees, you are sorted. But if a financial loss of trust, let's say you feel like your phone number is now known by some other person, it's a big loss, right? It can never be compensated. So your data at Amazon is fully secure. For example, to know a customer's address, it's practically impossible. I worked in address system. I worked in last mile, right? Even I cannot see the address of a customer. I cannot see, hey, what is their address, right? Because it's a privacy information. Your address is your privacy, right?
Yes, sir.
It's visible only when the courier person who delivers you, they are certified to not leak your address. Their organization is. So that's an example for address, right? And phone number is practically impossible, right? It's always masked. When it comes to the payment information, even more difficult. So your payment data is masked and tokenized at the entry. So when it enters into our server, there itself it gets masked. And through any system, we only see a encrypted data. So if somebody directly hits the database, they cannot see it. And to detokenize it is possible only by the bank,
Yeah,
right?
okay.
Only the bank can detokenize it. So the
Yes.
key is there. So it's almost like you give something, it gets locked when you give, and the key is only there with the bank. Like it's kind of key where you press lock, right? So I can only encrypt it, I cannot decrypt it, even if I want to. So that's how the data is secure. Privacy, and we also have things like government data are kept separately in private cloud, and there is something called data segregation. If you want your data to be segregated from every other system, it is given a separate rack, separate data center, etc. Like I deal with a system, right? Like let's say our data should be segregated. Netflix, everybody knows Netflix now, right? At least in lockdown. Netflix uses Amazon infrastructure, right? Background. Prime Video, Netflix competitor, also uses Amazon infrastructure, right? So Netflix wanted their data to be segregated from Prime Video. So we have a separate data center where Netflix runs on. Nobody else, nobody else is using their infrastructure. That infrastructure is for Netflix. So Amazon's customer in one business could be a competitor in another business. In infrastructure, they are a customer. In OTT platform, they are a competitor. So that's how we serve our customers. And Netflix is a top organization for them. So that's the kind of privacy and security that we have.
Yeah, thank you, sir. We have one more question, sir. Jio has recently announced that they are implementing cloud storage on their mobile. Is it revolution in the mobile industry, sir?
Yeah, definitely, obviously. So Geo has really redefined mobile, right? Like uh, uh, it's a big deal if you put a data pack a few years back. Now, every person in India has data pack, not just because of Geo, but they may not use Geo, but Geo really put that, hey, data on everybody's mobile on the map, right? I think India has more internet users than anybody else in the world. That's what I believe the data says.
Yes.
And that the change in the shift comes from Geo. So I'm pretty happy that they are popularizing the internet, pretty happy that they are popularizing cloud storage. Uh, so that's, I think it's a good thing, right? Like it's a good thing to have where the other organizations are also scaling up, and Geo has a great deal in popularizing internet business, particularly on phone in India. And hopefully when they bring in broadband, it will be big. And when all this internet business looms, it brings in new streams of customers to other online business. Because internet provided a data pack, now a lot of people would be making orders on Amazon, Flipkart from their phone. If they have had never had that internet, they would have never made that business. So that's how, like, the dependent business also grows along with it.
Great. Yes. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm good. Thanks everyone, right? Like, pretty happy to have spoken to you all, and I wishing you good luck.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Thank you so much, sir, for that encouraging speech and valuable information regarding latest trends in software industry. Gratitude is a quality similar to electricity. It must be produced and discharged and used up in order to exist at all. I would like to invite Tamil Selvi ma'am, who was the backbone of this whole symposium, to give the vote of thanks.
Thank you, Razul. I am Mrs. C. Selvi, Assistant Professor, Department of IT, Dr. MJ Education Research Institute, deem it an honor and privilege to propose the vote of thanks on this remarkable occasion. So let's start thanking with the Almighty God for making us execute this event successfully. Then I thank our guest of honor, Mr. Sri Sankara Sri Sankara Swaminathan JV, Software Development Manager, Amazon India Development Center, who accepted our invitation in a very short notice. So thanks for such an informative and enlightening speech, sir. I thank our Honorable President, Engineer A.C.S. Arun Kumar, for his motivation and encouragement and his continuous support for executing such events. So I also thank our Vice Chancellor, Dr. S. Geeta Lakshmi, Registrar Dr. S. C.V. Painivelu, Joint Registrar Dr. V. Cyril Raj, and Dean ENT Dr. S. Sendilvelan for their guidance and encouragement in all their efforts. My heartfelt thanks to my head colleague and the students of our department for all the effort they have taken to make this event a successful one. My special gratitude to the distinguished participants who have gathered to take part in various technical and non-technical events, without whom this event wouldn't be a resounding success. Thank you all. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, ma'am. Before ending up the meeting, I would like to give a few guidelines to the participants. Participants are requested to join in their respective events at the correct time using the meeting link that has been shared. Please join using a laptop, mobile with good internet connection to avoid interruptions. Winners of the event will be given excellence certificate. All the participants will get a participation certificate. Time is limited, so please be prepared with everything needed for your preparation. I hope you enjoy all the events. Have a great day. Thank you.